Hello and welcome to Rogue Artisans and Crafters, winner of the 2018 Southern Oregon Television Awards for Best Arts and Culture Show. I'm your host, Glamour Dave Nienow. We welcome you, our viewer, to our show where we typically feature local artists and craftspeople here in Southern Oregon. And we would talk to our featured artists about how they came to their art, what drives them as artists, find out stories behind their art process, and how their work as artists influences their lives. But today we're doing something a bit different with today's show episodes. Today we're going to be talking about different aspects of the role of art as a healing tool in today's culture and society. And in that regard, with this episode, which is episode 25 of Rogue Artisans and Crafters, we're featuring the Life Art Gallery and Cultural Center in Medford. I discovered the Life Art Gallery last fall when looking for story ideas for my other show, Gems of the Road Valley. As I learned more about the Life Art Gallery program, their focus to help at-risk teens here in Jackson County, and their efforts to reduce the number of local teen suicides, and their various support programs offered, I concluded that there was a wonderful community resource here that offered more than could be discussed in a single episode of any of my shows. And with that in mind, I approached other producers and friends of mine here at RVTV with the idea of doing a cross-collaboration between our respective shows to tell different aspects of the Life Art Gallery program and their support programs to help the local teens of our area. The gallery serves as a safe haven for local teens. It allows them to use the art supplies and space offered to give them a safe means of self-expression. Thus, the Life Art Gallery program uses art as a tool to help local teens deal with the problems that they are confronted with in their lives. It really is a wonderful and remarkable program that has helped many local teens to find positive direction and successful careers in their lives. This show is the second show about the Life Art Gallery program. The first show taking place talking about the origins of Life Art Gallery was recently produced with my fellow producer Steve Drebin as part of his show, In Their Words. In the coming weeks after my show today, you can look for additional shows about the Life Art Gallery from my fellow producers John Letts as part of his show Adventures in Education, and with Nancy Bloom in her show Life Passages. Be sure to look for these show episodes as they are broadcast here on RVTV. Today, to help talk about the Life Art Gallery, we are privileged to have with us three of the young artists who are strongly involved with the gallery. We're going to talk to them about their lives, their art, their programs offered through the gallery, and what the gallery has meant in their lives. The young artists are Caroline Wasik, Carla Lopez, and Brandy Gibbons-Dorr. And so we welcome Caroline, Carla, and Brandy to the show.
Thank you.
And so we have next to me, you're Carla,
yes,
right? And you're Caroline, and you're Brandy.
Yes.
Okay. So to begin with, ladies, how did you come to the Life Art Gallery program? So, Carla, you want to start off and kind of maybe tell how you came into the Life Art Gallery?
Sure. So I started as a participant when I was a junior in high school. Okay. So it was I've been one of the first participants since we were in Phil's garage.
Okay.
So right from the beginning, I've always been there. And now I'm a mentor and as part of the JUMPS program. So we just keep growing and growing.
Okay, well that's good. And so Caroline, how about you? How did you come into it?
So I came into it, I lost my brother to suicide when I was 16 years old. And a friend of mine, her, I believe, cousin, was part of the Life Art program. And she told me about it. She's like, this guy, Phil Ortega, is doing some great things out of his garage. We're doing art, it's suicide support. And so I went to go check it out. And I went to the garage and I was greeted with such warmth and comfort and such amazing positivity. And I felt like I wasn't alone like I have been.
Yeah, right.
And I just did art by myself, but I was with a like-minded community in Phil's garage. And so ever since then, I've been going every Sunday, and I am here now.
Okay. And Brandy, how about you?
I was very fortunate to have met Caroline when I was going to RCC. We had met in an art class there.
Okay.
And we had known each other for about a month, and then she told me about Life Art, and she's like, I think you would really enjoy it, and told me a little bit about the program. And the first time that I went was actually over here at the studios at SOU, and ever since then, you can't get rid of me.
Well.
Yeah, it's a really wonderful program, makes you feel like a community, another family, so that's sometimes hard to find. And very thankful.
Yeah. Now, for each of you, before coming into the Life Art Gallery program, were you doing art before that, or is like the art kind of come in after you come into the program?
I know. Have been doing art ever since I was very little. You know?
Yeah. I think I won my first art contest in the 3rd grade. I was pretty proud.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
But yeah, I took a break from art for a while, and during those times I noticed it was a lot darker and I wasn't as happy, and as soon as I was able to pick up the brush and kind of let some of those pent up feelings out, I started becoming a much more positive person. So
Right.
yeah.
And how about you, Carla? Were you doing art before coming into the program?
So for me, it was very different from their experience because I never done art.
Oh, okay.
I was just didn't really like art. I was not about to paint, nothing. So when I came into the Life Art program, I started doing photography.
Okay.
Because that was my outlet to express myself. And later on, I took a class, part of Life Art, because they will bring other guest artists, and we got to learn. So that's when I picked up painting, and now that's all I do, and I love art, and yeah.
All right. Well, that's really great to hear. So now, what are I know that the gallery offers a huge number of programs from my talking to Phil and the visits I've made to the gallery during the Third Friday Art Walks. So what are the current programs that are active right now, like for the summer?
For the summer, we always do the McLaughlin Middle School project. And currently still going is the GEMS program, which the GEMS program stands for Girls Expressing Many Strengths. And we're an after-school art program, and it's art-based, but art is just the vehicle for the conversation that we get with the girls. We teach team building activities. We teach them how to be comfortable public speaking, and just middle school is a hard time, and you start to like grow, and you start to feel feelings you've never felt before, and it's such a prominent time in a young person's life, and we're there as support, as encouragement, and as mentors.
Yeah. As well, we bring other members from the community so the girls can feel comfortable going into the community asking for help. Right. So we bring those resources for them so they can feel more comfortable and
yeah. And is this how does this program work, and is it going through like all the schools or selected schools? I mean, how do you like bring the girls in that that you're working with?
So right now we're at White Mountain Middle School, and that's kind of where GEMS actually started.
Okay.
And so a lot of girls can join. Right now we have about 20 girls in our program, and last year we had over 30. So this year we kind of did it differently and kind of had like an application kind of thing going on. But yeah, we would love to expand, absolutely, and get in all the schools.
Right. Yeah, because it sounds like a really wonderful program in terms of being able to kind of help girls along, and kind of help them build their internal strength to deal with whatever life brings, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, so now that's the GEMS program. Now, what goes on with the McLaughlin Middle School art program? What's going on there?
So we run that program during the summer, and I kind of like that a little differently because in White Mountain Middle School, the GEMS program is just strictly for the girls. But when we go to the summer school, we have boys in the class as well, so it's kind of interesting. But what I really like about that is sometimes we have kids that are special needs children, and they come into the program, and just being able to teach them and see some of their progress, it's so rewarding.
Definitely.
Yeah, see a little bit of their growth and work with different kinds of people.
Yeah. Now, are there other programs that you do throughout the year that also go through other schools in the area? Or, we
try to collaborate with the kids and do different mural projects with them.
Oh, okay.
Like last year we worked with Hedrick Middle School,
right,
and we kind of designed a mural on the wall, and it was sort of like paint by numbers, and all the kids got to sign up and paint,
okay,
and so they were able to be a part of the process and be proud of something at school and say, hey, I painted that.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so how many mural projects have you done? Because in going through like the Life Art website, it seemed like there's been several mural projects.
Yeah, too many to
Yeah.
count, it seems like.
Yeah, definitely.
One of the more prominent ones you guys might be familiar with is the big mural in Eagle Point, right there by the Hillside Elementary, by the bridge. That's kind of one of our more prouder murals.
Yeah. That one's on the district building there, and we were able to paint there live. Well, of course it's live, but paint with and invite the community to also paint and help us create this thing. So it's not just a life art project, and it becomes a school and a community project. So everyone can help and to create something beautiful for their community, and everybody can be proud of it every time they drive by it.
Yeah, well, that's really cool. And now, do you do? How do you go about developing the ideas for the mural projects and where they take place? And I mean, what's that process like at the gallery?
So we all kind of get together and brainstorm like what ideas each of us have, and then as a collaborative, we have one final rendering for the mural. So make sure everybody's idea is heard in the mural and definitely shown.
Yeah. And now, one of the things that we tried to do for the show, but we weren't able to pull the logistics together, is the Familia Unida bike program. That's one of the programs through the gallery that I've seen. That's where basically some of the students basically get to create the equivalent of like a lowrider custom bike.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because a lot of kids might not be interested in painting or doing art, but they're interested in working with their hands.
Right.
So it's they get to learn how to work with tools and learn how to build things and where things go, and it's really their kinesthetics get together. And
well, I've seen some of the bikes during the Third Friday Art Walks, and they're really impressive to see. I mean, they're like, it's like, oh, I'd like to have one of these bikes myself, and I'm old compared to everyone in the gallery. So, I think that's really kind of a cool program.
Yeah, definitely.
So we have some examples of your ladies' art here on the set, and so we kind of want to talk about some of your respective pieces of art that you created. So to begin with, and I understand, Brandy, this is your piece that you have over here.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about this particular piece.
Well, the title of that piece is Saving Private Liberty, and not to get a little political, but maybe a little bit. I just wanted to really kind of highlight on the world that we live in today.
Yeah.
And for me personally, I know there are a lot of things going on that are kind of shameful, and I think the nation is hurting, and I see a lot of people in pain, and I kind of wanted to highlight on the combat aspect of it, but just the Statue of Liberty, just kind of being shameful and crying into her hands, and I feel very powerful about that. I kind of just wanted to have a piece that could showcase that, I'm here with you. And
Yeah. Well, one of the things that has struck me over the last several months in attending the art walks at your gallery is the strength of art that's to be seen every month. And it's from the first time that I've walked in, it's immediately apparent that there's a great deal of emotional connection to all these pieces of art that all you students and youth that are participating. I mean, it's just really apparent from that there's just a great deal of emotional connection to every piece that's on display.
Yeah, I think it's easier for us to kind of tell our story because maybe we're not so vocal about it, and it's sometimes can be kind of scary because it's so personal and so raw to let somebody kind of see what you're feeling inside. But I think it's also very important to show people that side of you.
Yeah, exactly. Now, this piece that we have here, Now, Caroline, this is one of your pieces, correct?
Yeah, it's called La Cosecha, which is the harvest in Spanish.
Okay.
And I did this one to show about the American dream and about the dreamers. And
Yeah.
that's kind of my inspiration, because I am a Chicana. And it shows that Latinos or immigrant workers are here. They're wholesome, they're family oriented, they're hard workers. We are not like the news has been portraying us as, bad people or gangsters or thugs. And it just kind of shows that. It's like,
Yeah.
wholesome, like.
Yeah. Well, I look at the piece, and in a way, it's reminiscent of a previous artist guest that I've had on the show, Betty LeDuc, who
Yes.
who Betty does. That's been her career is documenting the work and lives of migrant workers and so on. And so you have a little bit of that feel in your work, and it's really nice to see. And you have another piece that's behind you as well,
I
right?
do. This piece right here is called The Beautiful Dreamer. And I actually did this. It's supposed to be a portrait of my mother and her little brother, which is my tío, my uncle. She came to America when she was 19 years old, and she brought her little brother with her. And just showing her resilience for the American dream. She has been owning an adult foster home for over 30 years, and she's just my hero, and I just look up to her so much. So I wanted to create this painting to show her beauty and her strength.
Well, that's a really wonderful, it's a beautiful portrait. It's really, it's a really bright, cheerful portrait, and it's just, I just love looking at it. It's really wonderful.
Thank you.
So now, Carla, you have a piece here. That heart image
Yes.
there is yours, correct?
Yes, it is.
So tell us about that.
I think I painted that when, I think it's like towards the beginning. I was going through a hard time. I had a really hard time in high school, and later on, like a few years later, I was struggling with a few things and just didn't know how to like put it all together.
Right.
So I felt like a black heart with a sunflower, because sunflowers are bright and they want to follow the sun. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to get better and get out there and better up myself. So that's what I did at heart, and the sunflowers taking over it little by little. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, there's definitely a really great, wonderful symbolism in it, and it's really a nice rendering. And now, where are you at in your life now? I mean, as I understand, you're going to college now.
Yes, I'm a student at SOU,
Okay.
and I think I'm doing better. From when I started, I was just always really down, and ever since I started Life Art, like I know that I always have someone that's always going to be there for me, no matter the situation that I'm in.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we want to do for the GEMS girls. We want them to know that there's always going to be an adult, a caring adult that would generally care for them. And so that's what I kind of want to show these girls, that even though your past does not define who you are or who you're going to be in the future.
Right.
So I think I'm doing way better now.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good. And basically, I mean, each of you ladies have all kind of found a lot of positivity that's come through your lives because of the program.
Absolutely. Yeah. We kind of all, on a personal level, have had problems with suicide, or have known someone really close to us that has had problems
Right.
with that as well. And so we find this little community of people that have had similar tragedies happen to them, and we find comfort in knowing that someone has shared the same sort of pain that we have, and it's been really rewarding.
Also, the other thing about Life Art is that we don't judge you. Like other people can come in and right away they feel at home because of that openness that we all share with each other.
Yeah.
Like we don't judge each other by our past. We're just there, and there's always someone that will listen.
Yeah, I mean that's, in the fact that you all have such a strong supportive network through the gallery is one of the things early on that I was really found remarkable about what the program is about and what you're doing, and so I really think that's really a wonderful thing. Now I understand you have like a poem.
Oh,
Or something to.
I just had something to kind of read about my art, but yeah,
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
like to share that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I think it's gonna go along with a lot of things that kids are dealing with nowadays,
Yeah.
because I was bullied a lot as a child, and that kind of affected me, and I'm able to channel that through my art. But every day I put on a disguise, barely good enough to hide into the shadows where rudiment tones of pain stain the corners. I've always tried to gain a perspective that was untouched, untainted, and one of my very own. I paint as a way to rinse my conscience and vulnerabilities. It takes me to a place that lets me reconnect with the deepest parts of me, the parts that keep me together. I grew up with this distance separating me from being normal. I once was shy, naive, and unsure of the world around me. Like most kids today, I was a victim of bullying. Soul-slashing words pierced their way through my heart, and they shattered me like glass. I isolated myself so that I could be at peace with my weirdness. But when I paint, I forget all the edges I face, and the lines that have kept my soul in place slowly begin to fade.
Yeah. All right, that's really wonderful. So, is there any last things that each of you want to let the community know about the Life Art program before we kind of wrap up here?
Yeah, so we always love community involvement. And so every third Friday of every month, we have a guest artist, a theme of the month, because sometimes people come into the gallery and they're like, I'm not quite sure what I want to create about. And as inspiration, we always have themes for the months for them to display their art. And so every third Friday, we have an opening, and it's from 6 to 8, so I really invite the community to come check us out.
Yeah, well, I've made it to several of those, and it really is a wonderful thing. I mean, because you definitely create quite a big group that appear, and it's really wonderful to see the variety of art on display. And so, is there anything else before we do this final wrap up? Is there any way that people, if they want to be able to support the program or donate, how they can go about doing that?
Yeah, you can always stop by the gallery. We're open Friday and Saturday, Friday from 3 to 8 and Saturday 12 to 5. And we are always welcome to everybody. We literally don't call this program, we call it a family, because we are all like familia. And so we just invite everybody. The doors are open and we're all very nice and welcoming.
Yeah, all righty. Well, it's really been wonderful to have all you ladies come on and talk about your lives and your connections with the Life Art Gallery. And so I want to thank Carla and Caroline and Brandy for coming on to the show. And so we've reached the end of our show, Rogue Artisans and Crafters. And we want to thank you at home for joining us during the special 25th episode of Rogue Artisans and Crafters, and to talk about the Life Art Gallery and Cultural Center, and helping the program and the teens here in Jackson County. And so we want to thank our guests, Caroline Wazik, Carla Lopez, and Brandy Gibbon-Doors, to coming on and talk about their lives and their art and their work with the Life Art Gallery program. And I want to encourage you, the viewer, to visit the Life Art Gallery official sites to learn more about their activities. And I strongly encourage you, the viewer, to also make a visit to the Life Art Gallery during its open hours, and particularly during the third Friday art walks that take place each month in Medford. I'm quite sure that you will be impressed by both the art and the energy of the young artists in attendance. And we also want to thank our crew who have made it possible to put this program together, and to thank RVTV for their wonderful studio facility, which allows us to produce shows such as this one. If you'd like to become a studio producer and create your own public access show, you can contact RVTV to learn how. You can also watch the show on Tuesday evenings at 8 p.m. on Thursday evenings at 11:30 p.m. On Channel 15 of the Ashland Home Network, and in the rest of Southern Oregon via Charter Cable on Channel 182. You can also find all episodes of Rogue Artisans and Crafters at archive.org, and you can also visit RVTV online at rvtv.sou.edu to find live streaming of all RVTV shows. You can also follow our show on Facebook by visiting and liking our official show page. Just search for Rogue Artisans and Crafters. So I'm your host, David Glamour Dave Nienow, and we will see you all next time.